Hi everyone, in this video I'd like to show you how I made this portrait drawing with charcoal and white chalk on toned paper. So let's start with the material. I'm using a type of charcoal called Academy, or sometimes called Venetian. They're squared and come in different levels of softness. You have B, HB and H, just like for graphite. You can use any types of natural charcoal that you like, but just make sure that you don't have any of this annoying crumble or dust in the center of the stick. What's very important in my process is that I sharpen my charcoal stick into a fine point to have a very precise pressure and better control over values. I am also using a white pencil that I sharpen too. I work on watercolor paper that I toned with a large wash of sepia ink. At the beginning, I try to find the overall proportions. It usually starts with the bottom of the chin and top of the head. I'm using the shape of the hair to determine the structure of the face, but I need to make sure that the length between the chin and the hairline is correct at the same time. Right now, I'm still checking if everything has the right proportions. I always check a lot, especially in the beginning, to make sure that all these landmarks I'm placing are working together. It's hard to see in the beginning because you don't have many points of reference, so you have to place a mark and try and move it if necessary. Well, charcoal is great for this because it can be very easily removed. Now this is just a rough placement of the eyes, not concerned with the shapes yet. I'm trying to follow the lines separating the shadows from the lights. I am avoiding to draw curves. I try to keep all the lines somehow straight, like if I were tracing a geometric shape. Curvy lines are always harder to define than straight lines. Now I'm going into more refined shape, trying to be more descriptive, but still not drawing too many curves. You can notice that I don't draw the eye on the left of the drawing yet. The reason is simple. It's part of the shadows, and for the moment, as I said before, I just focus on drawing the separation between lights and shadows. You will see that I will start drawing this eye pretty late in the drawing. As weird as it may seem, I don't need it right now for the structure of the portrait. Plus, because I don't have any easy way to locate it right now, and because I don't know if the rest of the face is good or not, placing this eye now would be the best way to put it at the wrong place. Now I separate light and dark even more by giving the shadow side a medium tone. By accentuating the difference between lights and shadows, I make it easier to see what I need to do to go further. Now I try to locate my highlights by using my white pencil. I'm not really trying to define the values at the moment, but more to locate things and using this highlight as a reference point. Just next to my lightest light is my darkest dark of the drawing. And this is great because it allows me to key the values of my drawing following these two extremes. The dark part of the hair is as dark as I can go with my charcoal, and the highlight on the forehead is my lightest value. So I can compare all the rest of my values to these two extreme values. This is called keying. This mid-tone on the forehead is dark, but not really as dark as the hair, so I try to replicate the difference in value between these two. I do that from value to value next to each other all the way for the entire drawing. And this is how I keep values under control. At this time, I realized that my eyes are wrong. Something just feels weird. It doesn't look the same. So I checked to find specifically what's wrong. It could come from a lot of things: size, placement, space between the eyes, angle, and in this case, they needed to be higher, slightly more towards the ears. So I had to change it. But it always worked like this. You see that something is wrong, but you don't really know what exactly. So at this point, you have to ask specific questions and look for answers. Like you need to ask yourself, is this high enough? Or is this distance correct? And when you have your answer, then you know what's wrong. If you don't ask yourself these specific questions, you will still know that something is not right, but you will struggle more to understand what it is exactly. When you find it, you should always be open to change, even if you're at a very advanced stage of your drawing. The nose is a little bit too short too, so that's another thing to change. But it's alright. This is a normal evolution of for drawing. Things need to be changed, moved around. It's just a matter of finding out what's wrong before it's too late. And this is why it's super important to take a lot of time to look at the drawing. Just look, don't draw, and take a break if you need. Go grab a cup of coffee or tea and just look at your drawing for a while, and things will start to appear. I try to be as precise as possible with the edges. If the bottom of the jaws doesn't create a sharp edge on my reference picture, I don't want to draw a sharp edge just because I know that the jaw should be here. In drawing, you always have this struggle between how you think something should look like and how it actually looks like. Your brain knows things as general concepts and ideas, and they have a strong influence on how you see these things. When you actually look at the visual appearance of things, they're very different from the concept we make of them. Visual perception and intellectual categorization are very different. And if you struggle to draw what you see, it's probably because you try to draw what you know instead. At this point, I start to give my drawing more independence towards the photograph. I draw this dress purely out of my imagination and try to reinforce the composition according to my taste and expressive intentions. I don't really want to create a perfect copy of the reference picture. There is a time and place to decide to step away from copying the photograph. So you need to make sure that proportions and values are correct and that the drawing conveys your artistic intentions. But after that, you can pretty much finish without even looking at the model anymore. Always remember that you're the one that needs to decide what is artistically valuable for you. You're not here to copy nature 100%, but to take what's the most beautiful out of it. The challenge is to know when you need to look at your reference and when you can stop. There could be so many things to say about a drawing like this, and I'm sure I forgot a lot of important things. But it's hard to include everything in one video. So if there is something you'd like to know, leave a question in the comment section. if you want to help me make more videos like this one, you can support my work by going to my TP profile. My contributors get some awesome benefits for supporting my work. They get to ask me their questions privately via email or Skype, and I take a lot more time to answer them. Plus, they get access to exclusive hints and techniques, and they can also send me pictures of their work and discover unique and specific techniques to improve in their practice. So far, the exchange with my TP community has been awesome and very fruitful. So thank you to all the people that supported me. Thanks for watching, and as always, have fun drawing.